World Economic Forum has begun in Davos in Switzerland, and the refugee crisis is expected to be high on the agenda. More than 2,500 participants from 100 countries are attending. That includes more than 40 heads of state. Participants discussing new technologies, emerging markets, but what is weighing heavily on their minds is China's slow economic growth. Head of International Chamber Commerce, that's what he said today in Davos. Let's get more on this. We're joined by TRTWorld's Business Editor at Large, Craig Copetas. And Craig, many thanks for joining us. I suppose it's not surprising that the plight of refugees, which has very much been at the forefront of people's attention in the last year or so, I suppose it's no surprise it's happening too at Davos.
It's happening in a big way, and the problem is they're having trouble squaring a circle. You have one group there saying that give us all the refugees you can, refugees are good for the economy, this is the right thing to do. But on the other hand, you have the private sector saying, hey, we don't have any jobs for these people. And then you have the Davosians fashioning this conference as the fourth industrial revolution, in which they say there's going to be massive job loss over the next 20 years. Half of America's jobs, for instance, in the next 20 years are going to be replaced by robots. So people are saying, what are you going to do with these refugees? It's not a matter of feeding them, it's a matter of training them, getting them jobs. There are no jobs. And on top of that, if there were jobs, it would depress wages even further, because wages are at an all-time low because of what's going on in China and elsewhere, to the point that earlier today, Daesh reduced the wages of their fighters by 50%.
That's incredible.
It is. That's globalization.
It's interesting you touched on China and the slowdown there. That must be a huge talking point at Davos.
It is, and what you're hearing the executives who pay for Davos saying is, ride the dragon, don't give up on China. The reason? Because they're all invested in China. Depending on what economists you talk to right now, some will say that China has the largest economy in the world, eclipsing the United States. So you can't avoid China. It is the bull in the China shop, excuse the bad pun.
Many thanks for that, Craig Copetas, our editor at large at TRT.